Donald Trump takes a massive lead over Joe Biden in the state of Florida. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today it is time to talk about the 2024 presidential election because everyone, a brand new poll from Big Data Poll has Donald Trump winning the state of Florida, not just by a little bit, not just by a decent amount, but by a complete and total landslide. That is right. The former swing state is now a Republican stronghold. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, all support is greatly appreciated, and yeah. Now, let us get right into it because this is pretty significant. Now, to be clear, we've known for a while that Florida in 2024 was going to be very Republican, but I didn't know how Republican. Like, okay, are we talking about Trump plus 5, Trump plus 10, what? Well, according to Big Data Poll, which is the pollster of Rich Barris, which I understand that I will hear some groans from the crowd because I understand that Rich Barris in 2022 was off, but all of us were. And even then, back in 2020, he was spot on. Even back in 2016, he was a very accurate pollster, and I think he will be spot on this cycle. So either way, though, this poll has Donald Trump up by a landslide margin, especially for Florida standards. I mean, usually Florida is, within 5 points at the absolute best case scenario for either party. It's usually, R plus 1, D plus 1, R plus 2, D plus 2, somewhere in that range. But for the past 5 years or so, Florida has taken a big shift to the right. So let's get right into it. The Sunshine State poll for March 2024 finds Donald Trump has increased his already commanding lead over Joe Biden in Florida. The former president leads the current president by roughly 13 points across all scenarios in the first test by Big Data Poll in the new year and since the two men clinched their respective nominations. That's right. Not up by 1 or 2, not up by 3, which was Trump's margin of victory. No, he's up by 13 points. That is historical. It's been decades since a Republican or even a Democrat has won the state of Florida by that much at the presidential level. We've seen some governorships, obviously Ron DeSantis, he won by what, 20? But for the presidency, it's been decades since either candidate won the state of Florida by even more than 5 points. It's a state that's very difficult to win by more than 5, let alone 10. In a hypothetical matchup, Trump initially leads Biden 50.1% to 36.7%, a widening of the 45% to 36.7% margin in the prior survey back in August of 2023. So Trump's lead has expanded, but the most important thing, look at Trump's vote share. It is already above 50%. You know what that means? Mathematically speaking, if this is true, Biden could win every single undecided. Somehow. It's not going to happen, but let's just say he does. Even in that scenario, Donald Trump would carry the state of Florida. But look compared to August. He was only at 45% then. He's gone up 5 percentage points just of his vote share, while Biden has stayed the exact same. But this number is pretty significant that, hey, Trump's vote share has gone up while Biden's stayed the same. Why? Because virtually every pollster, it doesn't matter if it's Florida, Wisconsin, Michigan, hell, even national, it doesn't matter. We've seen the past 4 to 5 months the same deal. Trump's vote share has gone up while Biden has stayed either identical to 5 months ago or just barely went up against Trump. That's a significant thing because that means Trump is getting his base back together. Like, hey, he's uniting the Republican Party. While Biden, even to this day, he is struggling to win back some of these voters. Overall, 5.3% remain undecided, and 7.9% chose someone else. With leaners, Trump leads 51.4% to 38%, with 10.6% choosing someone else. So even with leaners, and again, third-party vote share might be a little bit high. We just got to see what happens with RFK. Either way, Trump is up by 13 points with leaners. In a three-way hypothetical matchup, Trump leads 49.2% to 35.7%, with independent Robert F. Kennedy earning 6.7%, 4.4% still choosing someone else, and another 4% remaining undecided. When leaned, voters still back Trump 49.9% to 36.4%, with Kennedy at 7% and 6.6% opting for someone else. So even with RFK on the ballot, it once again proves that it doesn't really change much. In fact, this might actually give Donald Trump a tiny boost, like 0.1% boost, according to this poll, if this is right. Which, in some states, that could be the difference between Trump winning the presidency or losing it. In a six-way hypothetical, Trump leads Biden 47.9% to 34.5%, with 7.4% choosing Kennedy, 1.5% choosing independent Cornel West, 1.3% libertarian Lars Mapstead, and 0.9% for Green Party candidate Jill Stein. Even that scenario, Trump wins. And with leaners, he's at 49.5%. This is a problem for Biden. And I know this is Florida, but this is a sign that these undecideds, despite being more Democratic leaning, which I have proven time and again that, yeah, these undecided voters, the more Democratic, they're more younger, they're more diverse, whatever. Despite that, Trump is still maintaining a good lead over Biden. That is a disaster waiting to happen for Democrats, because if Trump is winning these undecideds even outright, hell, even taking 30% of undecideds that are more Democratic leaning, that's a disaster for Biden. But this poll also did trust to handle issues, and look at that. Economy and jobs. Trump's winning by what? 18 points? Inflation and cost of living, 18 points. Immigration and border security, 23. Crime and safety, 16. National security and foreign policy, 15 points. Labor and union issues, Trump's up by 6. Preserving Social Security and Medicare, which, especially for Florida, being a much older state, Trump is leading that issue by 3. That is an issue that Democrats have dominated for years. Their entire strategy, especially against someone like Nikki Haley, is, attack them for trying to take out Social Security. Donald Trump's the only one that really doesn't work against. Sure, he has some fluff-ups here and there about the issue, but he's been so consistent on the issue that it doesn't really matter. But even look at abortion. Trump is tied with Biden. Threats to democracy and corruption, Trump plus 9. The Ukrainian war, Trump plus 14. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Trump plus 17. So every issue except abortion, which is a tie. Donald Trump has a commanding lead over Biden on every single issue. Not just one issue, not just 2. Every single one. I understand that Florida is more Republican now, but when you have Democratic issues like union stuff, abortion, Social Security, the fact that those issues are favoring Republicans, at least Trump, is a disaster. At that point in time, that means the undecideds that are more Democratic leaning, they're like, what's the difference? Biden screwed us over with the Palestinian conflict, while Trump is just Trump. If that's the case, where Biden has this big of a problem with every single issue, how does he win? How? Listen, usually presidential candidates, they win 1 or 2 major issues. Usually, right? 2020, Biden won with COVID and healthcare. Those were his 2 big issues that he won with, and you can say they're both the same. Either way, That was the big issue that Biden won. Trump won with the economy. This time around, every issue, whether it's inflation, immigration, crime, Trump is killing Biden with. Even abortion it's a tie. Who ever heard of this? That the one presidential candidate is winning every single issue like this. And the one issue Democrats lead with, which should be D plus 30, it's a tie. But all right, let's just take a look at some of these crosstabs because I'm actually curious about, what groups is Trump doing so good with? Well, right off the bat, I could tell. He is winning 18 to 29-year-old voters. Which again, these voters, there's a lot of undecideds. That could be more favorable for Biden. But even then, let's do with leaners. Trump still outright wins 18 to 29. But look at 65 plus. It's the same margin as 18 to 29, which further vindicates what me and other people have been saying, that there is a realignment happening. Younger voters are voting for Trump, not necessarily Republican, but they're backing Trump. While older voters, they're backing Biden at much higher rates than past Democrats. We can look at by race. I'm actually curious. Trump's at 39% with Black or African American. This might be a bit much. Like 39%? I don't think so. But Hispanic or Latino, 52%? Yeah, that seems reasonable. If he's up by 13, this number seems right, especially for Florida standards. We know the Cubans, they vote way more Republican than other Hispanic groups. But even then, it's just like 39% of African Americans are voting Trump? Let's just keep going. Likely voters. Once again, Trump is doing better with unlikely voters than likely voters, which means the higher the turnout, the better Trump's going to do. This has never happened before for a Republican. Usually, higher turnout elections benefit Democrats because those are low propensity voters that for 50 years now have been Democrat. But now, under Trump, likely voters still favor Trump barely, or not barely, by 13 points, but unlikely voters favor him by 27. Either way, folks, the more you look at this poll, the more you realize that, yeah, there is something happening in Florida that might correlate with the rest of the country. Because Florida is a very unique state where there's a lot of everything in it. You got the Panhandle, you got the Cubans in Miami-Dade, you have Tampa Bay, Duval with Jacksonville. This is a very diverse state, all right? But Trump is dominating everywhere, doing good with every group. There is something here that theoretically should correlate nationwide. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.